Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra,
We're ladies.
and we tangent.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing. What's up, everyone?
Hello.
Oh my god, my kid's stuff was in our set. How embarrassing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your kid. I was like, your kid's here.
No. He
That
was
was gonna be
sitting
a
there.
real
Shane
friggin-
was setting stuff up for us. And he was like, Sierra's mic cover's missing. And I was like, yeah, Ollie was trying to like mouth it. And so I put it up. He put it back on.
Appreciate you for that.
No worries.
Well, what's up? What's up?
So this guy's is a fan favorite. Fan favorite.
You
It's
know
like
what
one
it
of our, it is. It's Hometown Scandals. And hometown/workplace. Doesn't matter. You don't care.
All
You
the
heard
tea.
scandal.
But
Yeah.
just basically give us your tea.
Yeah. So, today I had a scenario happen, and it was a moment where Shane was like, I don't like that happened. Okay. So I'm going to present you because it happened 3 times on our walk,
Oh boy.
but in different ways. This is very vague and ambiguous. I swear to God, there's a point.
It'll
Okay?
make sense, okay?
So we're on a walk. We went shopping today, and I bought this. We were at Marshall's, and I kept holding stuff up to Ollie and going yay or nay. He was naying everything, like very tough critic. Okay.
You're like, okay.
I don't think he understood the game, but anyway. So I picked up
It's
this
just
one
the last
set.
thing you said.
Yeah, he was just parroting
Yep.
nay. So I pick up this one set, and it's like a bralette top and matching leggings. And so it's like this green matchy set situation.
Yeah.
I get home, immediately try it on because dressing rooms are closed and I was not going to bother even if they were open.
I don't
Put it
even
on.
remember the last time I've been in a dressing room.
They've been closed for so long.
Yeah.
So put it on and I'm like, I kind of look fucking hot. So
Yeah.
I think we should go on a walk. I'd like to parade myself
Yeah.
around the neighborhood.
Good for you.
And that's also what we do to pass time right before we're going to put the kids to bed. So we're walking and we get to this one street that we're going to cross. I'm going to present you 3 times people said something to us on our walk. Okay? I want you to tell me which is the most unsettling. First
I
one.
love games.
First one.
Okay.
I won't even put them in order. Okay? First one. Someone that I know who is also a mom, same age, yells, "Hot mama," out the window. Okay?
Okay.
There's one.
Okay.
2, an older man
Uh-oh.
says,
I'm already uncomfortable.
"That's a pretty dog."
Okay.
And
He was talking about you.
and Shane patted my head.
Oh.
No. And then he said, "You have beautiful children."
Oh.
Okay, there's 2.
Okay.
3, we are crossing the street and this middle-aged guy leans out his window
Oh, no.
as we're already past him and goes, "Dang, you got a gorgeous family, don't you?" How do you feel? Rank those encounters.
Well, what's icky to non-icky? Or?
Just in 1, 2, 3.
I think you already ranked them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said they weren't going to be in order.
I know. Well, they weren't in order of how they happened.
Oh, okay.
How they happened was the guy hanging out his window as we walked past him yelled, "Well, don't you have a gorgeous family?"
Why do you have to bring my family into it?
Well, that's what I told Shane, because Shane's like, "That felt weird, didn't it?" And I'm like, yeah, because he wasn't saying that our family was gorgeous. He was.
No, yeah, but
His words said your family's gorgeous. What he meant was, I'd fucking pound your wife. And I'm not.
and
I
I can see that you have children, and I'm disrespecting that.
yes. Honestly, I'm not full of myself. I genuinely
No, but you look hot.
have a lot of self-hatred for my appearance.
You shouldn't.
I thought you were like, you should.
We all should.
But-
it keeps us humble.
But I'm telling you, the way this man said this, I told Shane, I'm like, the reason you feel uncomfortable is because his intent was not to compliment our family.
No.
Because if he was complimenting
Welcome
our
to
family,
being a woman.
Yes.
Where you go to tell somebody, hey, this is what so-and-so said. And it's like, well, that didn't sound so bad. And you're like, you didn't hear them. You didn't see or hear what they said and how they said it.
because I turned around and looked at him and he was literally hanging out the window, sunglasses down, like nodding. And I'm like, ew.
You have a gorgeous family?
Well, don't you have a gorgeous family? Don't you have a gorgeous family? Are you hitting on my children? No,
Right,
you're not.
Right. Are you hitting on my husband?
Yeah,
Maybe.
no.
but probably not.
Probably not, because I think he was talking to Shane. Because
Oh,
Shane was the one who
ew.
waved him on, like, hey, thanks for letting us cross.
Oh, so it's like, way
And
to
I
have
had
a
the
hot
dog.
wife, bud.
Yes. I don't think I'm misinterpreting it. I think
Well,
that's
I
exactly.
know where we live, so
Yes.
I don't think you are either.
And Shane was like, that just felt so icky. And I'm like, because it is icky.
Because
that happens
welcome
all
to
the
being a woman
time.
in America.
Yeah, I feel like any female is going to hear that
Yeah.
and be like, yep,
Yep.
that is icky. That makes me uncomfortable. That's exactly how I would have interpreted it. And anyone,
Ew, and there's something about getting hit. I've gotten hit on a couple times recently, being pregnant. There's a thing with
people
men.
have a thing for pregnant women.
Oh, I get guys that'll look me up and down, and I'm like, sir, I am sweating in my cracks right now, like, a lot. It's alarming, and so
yeah, but it's almost like they know someone fucked you, so
yeah.
they're
So
like,
oh, she's down to fuck. That's good to know.
she obviously knows what she's doing.
This bitch fucks.
yeah,
I'm like, not recently.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's it just feels weird because I feel like when your children are with you, it's like, hey, don't be, you shouldn't be skeezy anyways, but like, don't be skeezy in front of my kids, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, because, and that's why he phrased it that way.
Yes.
Because he's not, now he may. There have been people who, while I have my children with me, been like, hey, fat ass lady. And it's like, well, they don't phrase it like that, but that's what I hear in my head. But
Yeah.
no, they have said things like that while I'm walking.
Yeah.
But I think because Shane was with me, and he, for some reason, felt the need to say something, he phrased it in that way.
Yeah.
Because what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We have our
Be
kids.
like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
My family's average at best.
Yeah. I don't know. Someone's going to be like, I think you're blowing it out of proportion. Just take a compliment.
Maybe you should just be, yeah. Why don't you be polite to men who hit on you or whatever the fuck that stupid woman.
No, I'm not
Sorry.
going to.
No, don't make me feel yucky in front of my children or ever, actually. And also, I don't have to be nice to you if you compliment me. You don't have to compliment me. And I wish you wouldn't.
And that's the thing. I felt really confident in that outfit. And here's the thing.
And you did it for you, not so
Yes.
people would compliment you.
I am wearing this outfit because I am on a self-acceptance journey. I was
Yes.
going to say self-love, but I'm like trying to stay in neutral. I'm trying to just stay in this place where I look at myself in the mirror and go,
All right.
go girl.
Yeah.
You're rocking whatever. Just like
doing
I
you.
want to look and see my aura
Yeah.
and love that light
Yes.
and not give a shit what's on it. But sometimes I like certain fits. Like I like this cut of
Yeah.
shirt. And
This
so
is
I
all
wear a
that
lot.
fits me.
You look beautiful. You are a beautiful human. You are a
Okay.
beautiful pregnant person, but also separately, you're also a beautiful human.
I'll accept that.
Okay, good.
It does feel like I'm busting out like a can of biscuits.
But that's, you saw me on the couch yesterday and I was talking about how my core
yeah.
is not what she used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, because she's had a couple kids bust her shit wide open.
She's working on it.
Yeah, and stuff sags and it's stretched out
Yep.
and it's squishy. And sometimes when Shane and I are tangoing and I'm on top, I look down and I'm like,
That shouldn't be moving that way.
why does it look like a grocery bag? Like the way it's hanging there.
Have you ever done that but you're on all fours? Don't ever look down under yourself if you're on all fours.
I won't.
My-
I do the thing where I lay into the bed and get my ass up so that
girl.
I can't look
so
down.
that you can't even.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
I
just
will
like,
look
oh my God,
down-
I need to put my face in the pillow because I'm not trying to see.
I will look down and be like, I am a straight up pregnant dog with all the stretched out boobs. But I'm
Yes.
loving it and I'm loving it. And I'm
But yeah, I'm
accepting it
trying
and
to be
it's fine.
confident.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to love my body. And so I wore
Also-
something and now I don't want to wear it.
I was going to say, also, here's the thing. For those of you who might be sitting there and thinking like, oh, he was probably trying to be nice, you're overreacting. I want to tell you that when people do things like that, catcalling is not a compliment. Catcalling is a form of showing power.
Yeah, it's
Catcalling
harassment.
is saying, it is like almost a form of embarrassment. They
Yes.
know what they're doing is embarrassing us. They know that we don't like it because of the way that we react. Nobody ever gets catcalled and goes, thanks, baby, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You put your head down and you walk faster, and that makes them do it more.
Yeah.
If you've ever been catcalled, you know
because
that's
they almost feel like you're playing coy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and
don't look away from me, baby. You know, and it's like,
it's a
I
power.
want to die. I
It
want to
is
die.
a power dynamic thing. And so because of that, now you're like, I don't want to have that interaction again. Now I don't want to wear that because,
Right.
which is absolutely ridiculous that we have to feel like we can't wear certain things because.
Well, here, and this is what I told Shane, because he's like, I don't blame you for feeling uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. I think that you are totally justified in feeling unsettled by what he said, because I felt unsettled by what he said.
Right.
And the way that he said it. So I felt better knowing that Shane didn't think I was blowing it out of proportion.
Right.
But I saw a TikTok one time, and this woman was saying, like, the reason I'm so frustrated with comments of people saying, you know, be polite to men who hit on you, or, oh my gosh, just take a compliment, because someone had told her, like, nice camel toe while she was wearing workout clothes. First of all, weird fucking compliment to take. But
this camel toe's for me, not for you. But
right? But she was like, I'm not going to act like that's okay, because it's not. And she said, and here's why it's not okay. Here's why I don't enjoy something like that. She said, here's a video. And she showed a video of a woman being tackled to the ground and assaulted by someone.
Yep. I saw that video. It's horrible.
Right by her apartment.
Yep.
The same day that she got catcalled.
I saw that.
So it's a fear thing.
Yeah.
It's like, now I don't want to wear this outfit that I felt really pretty in, that I felt confident in, because it's drawing negative attention to me that I don't want, that I don't feel safe in. As someone who is a survivor of sexual assault, like, I don't want to put myself in that situation just because of freaking clothes that I wore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wear it again.
Yeah.
But
and obviously, I think this goes without saying, but some people need to hear it. No matter what you wear, it doesn't matter. But
I wasn't asking for it, but there's nothing.
But at the same time,
it doesn't matter.
It's almost like you want to blend into. That's why I wear such plain Jane T-shirts and clothes all the time, because when I get attention like that, it makes me feel very uncomfortable, and I get scared.
Yeah.
That I'm going to get unwanted attention on me, and I don't like that.
Yeah. It used to happen at one of the schools that I taught at. And so I would wear giant clothes all the time.
That is so fucking sad that we have to give up what we want and what we like because we're afraid of how we're going to be perceived or like talked to while we're wearing a fucking piece of material.
Going on a walk with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that would be, an interesting way to start this episode.
Well, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Since we're going to be talking about scandal stuff. Mosby, I really, truly don't think you're in frame, but if you're in frame licking what you're licking.
Mosby.
Anyway.
Did you want to talk about the Love is Blind thing on this one, or are we going to do?
We can.
Okay.
This is kind of a scandal, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I'll make it
we
quick.
talked about Love is Blind on
the rent is due one.
Oh yeah,
I think it was for Leap Day.
New Year's Day. leap year. Yeah, Leap Day.
Leap year. Yeah. So then we got a ton of messages saying, "Did you guys see they released what was it? 3 new
episodes, yeah.
Well,
Love is Blind after the altar or something like that, like 2 years later. It was the 2-year anniversary party of Barnett and Amber.
Yep.
And the Hamiltons.
Yes.
What are their names? Lauren and
serial killer.
Doctor guy. Is he a doctor?
Cameron.
Yeah.
What does he do?
You know what?
He's a scientist, I think.
See, I was close with doctor.
Yeah.
I just felt like he was going to clone her in a lab. I feel bad that
I feel bad for a lot of things that we did, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad about the Jessica thing.
Me too, dude. I feel like a bad person.
And you know what? I think
slapping myself on the hand for that.
I think we did say this in that episode, that we know that the producers shot and edited that series in a way to create villains and heroes. Yeah. And they really made her out to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she was so fun to mimic, I'll be honest. Still very mimicable,
Yeah.
but
But it's not as fun anymore.
not as fun anymore.
Also, I would like to say that the one person who remained a villain for me is Amber.
I
'Cause
agree.
fuck her. Here's what I don't like about Amber. I don't like the way that Amber hardcore defended Mark and like what he did.
Yeah.
And then immediately turned around and was like, no, because Jessica disrespected me while we weren't married, because that was her big thing, was like,
Yep.
you guys, you're adults in a relationship. If you're not married, like you can't say that you're fuck
I
you.
never even thought of that.
And then
Damn,
immediately,
check the fuck mate.
I'm just saying, you contradicted yourself within 30 minutes.
Yes.
Sweetheart. Goes to Diamond for really holding her own
Yes.
and not going off, because I would have. Because you wouldn't even let her speak.
Yes.
And it was driving. I hate being interrupted, even though I interrupt
Mm-hmm.
so much. That's an ADHD thing. Don't get mad. I'm not doing it because we're arguing, but I hate getting interrupted. Mm-hmm. Because it flusters me, and then I can't think
In
of what
an
I was,
argument.
Yes, because then I get flustered, and I'm like, wait, I had a good point here. Now you're making me run in circles around
And
this
now
shit.
I know you're not listening to me anyway.
Yes, you've already preconceived what I'm saying, and you've got a fucking rebuttal.
You're
which
not
is the wrong
listening to
thing.
hear me. You're listening to respond.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. And they brought up the Barnett thing, and she's like, well, we're married. And it's like, honey,
But you
you knew
weren't.
each other for like a fucking month. So,
Yeah. You
like-
knew each other the same amount of time as he knew Jessica. The thing that I have a huge issue with is how controlling she is of Barnett.
that's what I don't like.
There's no
He's
trust.
like a scared puppy. And it's
Yes.
hard, as somebody who's been in an abusive, controlling relationship, that's hard to watch.
Yes.
He says it's because of respect. I used to say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I respect him. That's why I'm not going to. No. It was because I didn't want to deal with a fight for 6 years. But seriously,
Yes.
for 6 fucking years, that would be constantly brought up. And you know, because of how he acted towards Jessica, that she has brought that small thing. He didn't do anything wrong, by the way.
Right.
But you can tell that she has brought that up continuously
Mm-hmm.
for the past 2 years.
If I really want to try and put myself in Amber's situation. If I'm Amber, I'm obviously me. But if I'm Amber and I'm in this scenario where we were just in the pods and I knew that he was like picking between multiple people and now we're out of the pods and we're trying to decide if we're actually going to go through with this marriage. And I knew that he had been really close with someone else.
Yeah.
Close to pursuing marriage with them.
Right.
And we still had an opportunity to interact with them. I would want him to be absolutely certain that this person
100%.
wasn't, and I think that's what scares her.
Yes.
I think she knows that if Barnett and Jessica would have had a chance, I don't think they would have ended up together.
Me neither. But she seems so threatened by it.
Yes,
That it's almost
I
like,
think that's what she's afraid of.
Yes. Yeah.
I think she feels inferior to Jessica, and I'm imagining her here if she heard me say that, and she would be like, "I'm not fucking threatened.
By anybody.
I'm not threatened. No, bitch, no." And I would be like, "No," but
You
I
did that
did, but
so
like,
good.
why?
Can we also talk about the fact that he sold his fucking home to pay off her $17,000 school loan or something?
Oh my god! And now lives with a
$20,000?
roommate.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I want to be like, I feel like we're missing some fucking points to this story because
Yes.
$20,000 is not a lot of school debt. Like, I mean, it is,
Yeah.
but also comparatively,
Yes.
it's not.
Right.
I'm just confused. What was really going on that, like,
Hmm.
he had to sell his house for that? Because I don't think, because when I watched the first one, she said she was $20,000 in school debt.
Right.
That's it.
They
We
paid
s-
$17,000 off.
Right. And so when you sell at home, I feel like you get a lot more than, like,
Well,
I'm very
no,
confused.
not necessarily, because
That's
if
true.
they could have just been able to pay off the home and then whatever remainder they got went toward the school loans. Yo, that sucks ass,
That
dude.
sucks so much.
He lost his whole investment.
Yeah.
He's invested in her.
Well, that's probably why he's so scared of Jessica.
I know.
Then the way that she was talking about them having babies rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, just how she was talking
Well, yeah,
to his
because
mom.
he was like, she's like, why does it have to be on his time? Well,
It should be on both of your like, this is a decision that
if he
impacts
doesn't
both
feel
of you.
comfortable bringing a baby into a home with a roommate,
Yeah.
he wants to have your own space. I think that's an okay thing to ask for.
Yeah. And I think that's something that you should, like, at least hear him out for.
Yeah, respect. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It was just everything about her rubbed me the wrong way in that. I was like, I'm going to give her a chance. And then I was like, nope, she still sucks.
Yes, it was
I don't like her.
And I thought maybe like after 2 years, she would have like, oh my gosh, my relationship has grown. We're so healthy. We've not even heard or thought of Jessica. Like, oh my God, let's bury the hatchet. Like, everything worked out as it should. I'm so happy you're in a happy relationship and you didn't end up with Mark. And I think she almost became friends with Mark to fuck over Jessica.
I agree.
I think she's like, oh.
She has such a weird vendetta around this girl that I'm like, what is your actual problem? Let me tell you something. My ex-boyfriend straight up put his penis in another girl while we were together.
Just one?
Like multiple girls, multiple penises. But while we were together, I'm just kidding. Well,
you're not. Okay.
But while we were together. And guess what? I'm friends with like 4 of them.
Yeah.
So like to me, I just don't get.
Well, you're Eskimo sisters.
Yeah. We have a close bond.
You do.
But like I just can't understand that. I understand there was a disrespect thing there, but it was also on his part mostly. And like Barnett, neither one of them really crossed the line that I could think about.
And it was in such a bizarre situation,
yes,
you know?
Yeah. Like, she's like, yes, we're engaged, but also you just saw his face like 3 days ago for the first time.
You cannot anticipate like how you're going to navigate that.
And he was dating other girls 3 days ago.
He was going to marry LC, who I didn't even know about her, but she had a whole fucking storyline.
Yeah.
Kelly was looking banging.
Oh my God, yeah, she really did look good.
What was her ex-fiance?
Kenny.
I
really love
Kenny.
him.
I'm happy he's happy
Me
and
too.
engaged. He deserves the world.
Yeah, he was still just like so sweet.
Kelly walked in looking like the whole damn world.
I know.
I was like, shit.
Okay.
Shit. And he looked at her and I was like, yeah, I see her. I know Kenny. We see her. You're happy. Remember that.
Yes.
It's okay.
But she does look good.
Yeah.
Now, for what everybody wants to talk about, Damien.
Oh my God.
That son of a bitch.
Hold
the
on.
new Jessica.
You think he's the new Jessica?
Oh yeah, he's the villain.
Oh,
what a big dumb idiot.
Oh, you know what? Part of me wonders if that was orchestrated by Netflix.
Oh, I'm
because
sure
what are
it
the
was.
fucking odds that Francesca from Too Hot to Handle is the one that he decides to bring on?
Was it Diamond who was like, she's on the wrong Netflix show?
Somehow she's at the wrong party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that was just such a bizarre.
When they were at the lunch date and she was like, can I touch your arm? Or he's like, do you want to touch my arm? And I'm like, what are we doing here?
And then he's like, I can tell that we're really getting to a point where like we're maybe going to like have sexual intercourse. I'm going to tell you about the Botox in my armpits.
Oh my God.
I was like, Damien, you don't know how to flirt at all.
He was like, so I got filler in my eyes and I got Botox in my armpits. Do you want to suck my dick?
By the way, I'm going to sound like a terrible person, but he was like, yeah, I'm really taking care of myself. I'm skincare and all that. And I was like, you look the exact fucking same
I
as
know.
you did 2 years ago.
Well, I don't think.
And good for you. I hope you feel confident, but don't turn that confidence. You have 2 bad bitches right here. And you're playing both of them?
Yes.
And like,
he's not my type. So I look at him as just
because
like
you guys
objectively.
could never be together.
I know.
The hair alone.
The hair. You think we have the same color hair?
No, but it's 2 shades of red.
He has red hair?
Yes.
No redhead should have that much confidence. Just right now, I'll say it. Take it down 6 notches, okay? We are definitely inferior, all right? Like, that's enough.
But
I thought he was a blonde.
Oh, no. It's definitely a tint of red. I'm looking him up right
wow.
now just to
God
make sure
damn.
that I'm not wrong about this.
I am happy if he's feeling confident, but you shouldn't use that confidence to then belittle and manipulate and mess with 2 women's emotions. Because you know what? Good for Francesca for being like, you're the problem. Mm-hmm. You should have never brought me here. You misled me and you put her... Oh, it is red. Yeah. You put her in a shit ass situation.
That was good. I was very proud of her for that.
Yeah.
And I felt uncomfortable for... First of all, somebody made fun of her outfit.
Oh, I felt so bad.
I was like, Damien, you couldn't even tell her what to wear. You couldn't tell her this was a suit and tie event.
You didn't tell her it was formal wear? My God, she showed up in a teddy bear coat and sweatpants. What the hell?
She looked amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, oh, You're already so out of place. She's like, I need to
know.
get drunk. I'm like, my girl, I need to get drunk
Yeah.
for you.
Oh my God.
That was hard to watch. But I
I went in
appreciated
there being like, thinking that Francesca was going to be the antagonist.
Yeah.
But she wasn't.
she handled herself very well.
Yeah.
And I feel like she had a what?
I just remembered her when Damien walked away and Gigi? Is
Yes.
that what we're calling her?
Sure.
Okay. Giannina
Yeah.
was like, he's mine. You're messing with the wrong bitch. And she was just standing there like, okay. I don't think I want to play this game.
You know what?
I can
Actually,
literally have sex with anyone right now. Okay. I don't have to be here.
That was what I was going to say. Literally, either one of those women could get
Yes.
anybody that they wanted to.
Yes.
Easily. And they're both fighting over this motherfucker.
I know.
And like getting manipulated by it. And then when he tried to gaslight Gigi at the end, that's what pissed me off. Because I was
Yep.
like, you manipulative little son of a bitch. You
He
knew
showed
what
his
you did.
hand.
Yeah.
He knew that he brought Francesca there to rile her up, to make it look like to everyone else, see, she is crazy. See how she acts towards me. See, when I bring another girl
And
here as a
didn't-
date.
And she didn't play into it.
Right.
Really, I mean, for how we knew her in the first season, I was expecting it to go off as soon as they walked in.
We don't know what he has already said to her about Francesca, and we don't know how much she has a personal relationship with Francesca. She could just be like you or I, seeing her online and in the media, and have an idea of who she was going to be as a person.
Right.
So I don't know. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, it was so weird. He was like, "This is my friend. And you don't like hang out with your friends and bring them to parties." What? Like, no.
And let them grab your bicep. And tell them about your cosmetic procedures.
Do this really weird thing where you guys are like both taking sips but staring at each other and like,
Oh yeah, when they did the cheers
They
thing,
were
and they're like eye contact. What does that mean?
yeah,
You know what it means? Is make eye contact with me or bad sex.
I don't fuck anyone if I don't make eye contact.
The whole time
The
we're
whole
tangoing, hard eye contact. Yeah.
Look at me while you're penetrating me.
Don't you fucking blink, I swear to God.
Yeah, so that I was very upset about.
Yeah. Was that it?
I don't know. That's pretty much all I had.
Cameron and what's her name?
I feel bad
Lauren?
about calling him a serial killer, but he still weirds me out a lot.
He's very emotional.
Which I love in men.
Yeah.
I really do. But at the same time,
They walked in like the goddamn king and queen.
I know. And you know what I think puts me off? Which I think now that it's been 2 years and they're obviously very happy together,
Yeah.
it's the way that she acts towards him, because she is not very emotional.
Right.
And so I think that I'm, in my mind, this is a me problem, but I'm expecting like gender roles for her to be
Yep.
really lovey and whatever. And the fact that she isn't, I'm like, ooh, she does not like him at all.
Yeah.
Which is not the case, obviously, because she's very in love with him and she shows that.
But if you see Shane and I in situations, he's more emotional than I
Yes.
am.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm in the right space, like I'm obviously, if you guys are like, bet you cry all the time. What do you mean he's more emotional? He is.
He is.
So I think that Shane and I could be looked at that way as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's because Lauren's a social media influencer.
Yeah.
Her job was social media before, so she's a performer, she's an entertainer.
Yeah.
And he was a scientist.
And he's like, damn, I really locked this bad bitch down.
Yeah.
Because that's what she is.
Yeah.
She's in her dress, everything. I was just like,
Oh.
you look phenomenal every time I see you.
Yeah.
You don't stop looking great.
I know.
Even when she's got her little hair in her thing.
You know who
and
I
she's-
missed?
Who?
Milady.
Who's Milady?
Giannina's mom.
Oh, I forgot.
Do you
about
remember
her.
when Giannina said that
Yes.
to what's his name? Fuck, Damien. When she was like, "It's nice that you got to bring a friend. I tried to get my mom on the list."
That was the best thing she's ever said.
Yeah.
No, but it's good that you got to come. You
Yeah.
know, I never seen my mom, but I'm glad that you're here. And she walked away, and I was like, she's being so petty, and I'm so here.
I know.
Normally, I'm like, ladies. But I'm like, no, petty queen.
Love that.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, anyway, we are going to do an entire exclusive episode about Netflix reality shows because we're obsessed with it. So sorry if you don't give a fuck about Netflix reality shows, and we just like spent the
We've
last
had a lot of people ask us
20
about
minutes
that, though. So
on it.
yeah, apologies.
Okay. Now we're going to get into
the shitterooski.
scandally scandals.
And before, I'm going to preface this because once again, you guys really fucking delivered, and there was no way I couldn't even read all of them.
Yeah.
And I started days ago, reading, but it was so much. Also, there's a weird thing with the spreadsheet thing that happened, and so all of them got jumbled up.
Here's what we're going to say right now. From now on, understand if your story doesn't get chosen, it is not a personal thing.
That's
where
the same
I
thing
feel
as
like
if we don't respond to a message at this point, before 6 months ago, for sure. At this point, they're so flooded.
Yeah,
we are doing our best.
Yeah,
we
don't have an assistant. We don't have anyone.
It doesn't mean that you're unworthy at all. We love you all the same.
I hope that no one thinks that, but I don't want to take up time every single time we do one of these saying like, apologies, we didn't get to yours. Maybe next time.
Well, what I wanted to say was, this is going to be open all the time, this link.
Yes.
So, like, if you ever have one that you think of, go to that link and put it there. I will pick from it every single time. They're always going to be there.
We'll make another announcement, and I'm going to try and put all of the forms in our link tree on our that you can access on our Instagram. We also have hired someone to build a website for us. So that's going to be coming.
Them there.
Yeah, they'll be there as well eventually whenever we get that going.
Yes.
So
okay, let's start. Some of these are like a little bit funny, but gossipy. Some of these are straight up like true crime.
True crime?
Murdery.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got some.
Whoa.
We got a lot more of the whoo this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with this one.
Okay.
This is Sammy Z, she, her.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. So the scandal was a pretty big one in my small hometown, so much so that it was even on the news. There was a girl in my same grade of sophomore year of high school who said that while she was walking along the trail that ran across our town, a man allegedly attacked her, tried to sexually assault her, and stabbed her in the leg while she fought him off.
Oh my gosh, I have chills.
I know. The county sheriff's detectives and forensics were all over it, as well as news crews trying to find this attacker. It turns out, in her almost month-long police statements, she revealed that she made the story up, stabbed herself, and called her recent ex-boyfriend as an attempt to win his sympathy to get back together with him.
Oh my God.
Apparently it worked until the story came out that she lied. She says that's just one, but it's...
I don't know if you guys can see the hair on my arm standing up so straight.
Yes.
Ew. The mental state that you have to be in to stab yourself and then keep up this lie.
I mean, my God.
Keep up a lie for a month with the police?
With the police and news crews. Like,
yes.
Oh, the balls.
Well, that's like some Chris Watts shit where he's like, please come home, blah, 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 knowing he fucking killed him. Like,
I don't like to couch diagnose people, but that sounds very like narcissistic. Because again, we know somebody who like faked a death of themselves to manipulate somebody to come back together or to get back together with them. And that's just like, there's more to life out there than that person. Stop stabbing yourself in the leg, my girl.
Yeah, SOS. Go to therapy. Please get help. Like, that is some scary, scary shit. And imagine the town. Well, that reminds me of the one scandal where the person was like, my husband was kidnapped or whatever, and he just left. He was like, no, I just owed people money, and I decided to leave.
Yeah, but this person was just like, oh, he broke up with me, and so I'm going to stab myself. And also, do you want to be with someone if you know they're only with you because you stabbed yourself?
Well, also, the other thing is, what if someone would have been taken into custody? What if she would have been like, yes, that is the man, and you falsely accused someone and ruined their fucking life for that?
Not to mention, you took up police time who could have been investigating other crimes.
Yes.
Like, that's so...
and now you have compromised how many actual victims.
Yep.
And perpetuated this idea that women lie.
About sexual assault and things like that. Yeah, that's yucky.
Yucky.
At the very end, she said, y'all are amazing, by the way. This podcast matches my speed and really makes the work days feel less like work. And I almost get excited to go because I know I'll get to listen to the ladies' tangent every week.
Aww,
keep being awesome.
This is Sammy?
Yes.
Love you, Sammy.
Yeah, we love
you.
So I had to add that one in. But yeah.
Yeah.
Kicked it off with a banger.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I know. You're welcome. This one, no name, but she, they pronouns. Mm-hmm. In college, I worked at a popular retail store. We'll call it JT Tax. This hooked me immediately. She
I
says,
love it.
there is a brand that is insanely popular, but that I now loathe because of JT Tax. And that brand is Ray Dunn. She does not give it a fake name.
Oh my god. We'll call it Day Done.
Day Done. Day Fun.
Day Run.
She says, any listeners who have worked at JT Tax probably just shit their pants at the mere mention of Ray Dunn. She says, Ray Dunn products are so simple, but people, namely Karens, will go apeshit for it and will do literally anything for it. One woman knocked down my coworker who was a minor.
Oh my god.
With her buggy, which I love that people call carts buggies in shopping. With her buggy to get to the Ray Dunn products he was bringing out.
No, people will do that. They'll call JT Tax and be like, hey, or Marshalls, Barshals, and be like, hey, do you have any Ray Dunn shipment? And they'll be like, it's coming out on Wednesday. And they'll fucking buy it out.
Yes. Another woman slept with one of our married guys that worked in the back. He would hide Ray Dunn stuff around the store for her and would call her when we had a new shipment come in. His son worked there too. His son caught them making out in the back room one day and told his mom.
Ew! What a weird fucking scavenger hunt. Hey, baby, I hid some Ray Dunn for you by the towels.
We're going to have some Ray Dunn and some Ray Fun later.
Yeah, I Ray did you. You know what I'm saying?
It says the guy got divorced but also got promoted to manager at a bigger store.
That sounds
Go
about
figure.
right,
Yep.
doesn't it?
That sounds about white.
She reaches her hand into one of the mugs and she's like, oh
Oh my god.
oh my.
It's cut out. It's just as weird.
Yes.
I knew where you were going with that.
I was trying to think of Ray Dunn products. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck she makes.
The
like
old
onesies.
dick in the Ray Dunn.
That old trick.
That old goat. Been there. We have a Ray Dunn cookie jar. And also, we have a Ray Dunn butter dish that I think would be really nice.
I used to have Ray Dunn dog bowls.
Yep. We have a Ray Dunn coffee mugs.
I just had the one, and I didn't know.
We get them gifted, so don't yell at me.
I didn't know that it was a Ray Dunn thing.
I just was like, oh, these are cool looking.
It was just the dog dish. I will never buy anything else.
No, me
I
neither.
had friends who were like obsessed with it, and I was like, yucky. All for you, my guy.
Yeah. Okay, this one says, okay.
And they're so simple
Yeah.
that like the journals just
I
say
think that's
notes.
yeah.
And it's like, yep.
I need that in my house. I think
Yeah.
that's what offends me the most.
Is it the mug just says drink and you're like, I didn't need instructions. I know what this is used for, but thank you.
Butter.
Yeah, does your butter just
Yep.
say butter? My God.
But it's like, I'm glad I knew that because I thought there was a dick in there.
Close call.
Turns out just margarine.
Yeah.
Thank God. Here comes the people that tell me that butter and margarine are different.
They are different.
I know.
I don't know
It's
the
a joke.
difference though.
I think that
I always think
margarine
that
has to be refrigerated and butter doesn't. So you
I-
can put butter out, but not margarine.
I put them both in the fridge.
Oh. But you don't have to.
I don't like
refrigerate.
room temperature.
Spreads.
Yeah, spreads. But is butter in the stick and margarine is in the tub?
I think that both can come in sticks and both can come in tubs.
Nope.
I don't know shit about shit.
Huh.
We'll talk
Let
about
us know.
this. Yeah. Give us some
Butter knowledge.
yeah. butter knowledge. Okay, so hospital setting scandal. Basically, a patient had a tracheotomy, which means they breathe through a hole/tube from their neck,
Yes.
trachea, and they came to the hospital with pneumonia. It's not uncommon because lots of germs and bacteria can easily infect a tracheotomy, and it's a direct shot to their lungs with little airway protection.
I knew someone who would smoke out of their trach.
I've seen that. It's absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Well, this is worse. So they run tests on the patient's sputum, I think.
Sputum?
Sputum?
Sputum.
From their trach to find out what kind of bacteria so they could treat with proper antibiotics. And the labs came back positive for semen.
No, I didn't. I knew it. I didn't want it.
So, talk about the wrong freaking hole.
No.
She said we were all sympathy puking for this poor lady. Like, choking if you're into it is one thing, but cutting off an airway because it's a new hole to explore, I can't.
How big are trach holes?
Well,
did they just shoot it in there?
size doesn't...
You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. If he ejaculated into her trach hole...
Oh, my God.
He's a monster. He's a monster. I'm hoping
Do you think she gave consent?
Well, God, I hope so.
She was like, let's see how good your aim is.
What if it went in there? The whole
Well,
thing?
that's what I'm asking.
No,
Well,
I'm
do you
talking
think the
about
whole penis?
wiener. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, you talked about smoking through it, so I mean,
But
but
a
really, how big
cigarette-
is it?
A cigarette versus a penis.
Well,
I'm sorry. What are you working with?
it's not my penis. I'm just saying, I'm not body shaming, but penises come in all shapes and sizes.
Cigarettes?
Penises come in all shapes and sizes.
Oh my God.
None that I've seen, but I know that it's possible.
The
No
size of
body shaming.
No body shaming. That's just shocking news.
Yeah, well, we don't have penises, and that's why we are shocked. Maybe he came on her face and it dripped down into her neck. Okay, at my high school. So we got a lot of things that are similar to this. A lot of high school teachers.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. At my high school, we had 2 teachers that were married and taught the same subject, and they had 2 girls that went to the high school. The husband was caught in his classroom that had huge windows looking out into the hallway, having sex with a substitute teacher after school.
Oh my.
He was immediately fired from the school mid-year when they were caught literally having sex in a windowed classroom.
I did that at a hotel one time.
Oh my God, I was like, at the school?
No, I didn't. No, not at the school. I did it at a hotel.
That's a little bit more...
Up against the window. I was like, I don't care. Let him see. I was drunk as fuck after a wedding. But never would I have the balls.
After school.
Okay. Shane used to help me set up my classroom. I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Sure.
My classroom was on the interior of the building. Like, it was not during normal
I feel like
school
it's one of those
hours.
taboo things that's like, oh, if we get
Yeah,
caught.
the idea of it was kind of like spicy, but never in a million years would I have fucking been ballsy enough
No.
to. I barely even kissed him
Yeah.
on the dick. No.
I sucked it a little.
No.
It was a very sore subject, and we would get in trouble with teachers and administration if they heard us talking about it. It got swept under the rug extremely fast. Here's the kicker. The wife is still a teacher there, as far as I know, and she posts pictures of them together as a family on trips and family outings on Facebook, so I assume they are still together.
Oh,
Shit was wild.
Damn. Staying together for the kids.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
That's one of those. I'm not shitting on her. I feel bad for her
Yeah.
in that situation.
We can't speak on anyone's relationship because we don't know like what they were going through, how
And
they
I stayed
chose
with somebody
to.
I shouldn't have for like 4 fucking years longer
Same.
than
Been
I
there,
should have,
done
so.
that.
I worked at a small business, and the owner and his wife, by the way, at this point, people have just quit giving us names and pronouns. I apologize, but if
That's
guys-
fine. I think some of these are just like scandals, and so they want to
Yeah.
remain anonymous.
Well, you don't have to give us your names, but if we do pronouns, if we do this, pronouns are helpful just so we can talk about. Well, I guess they're not really about your situation,
Yeah.
so really it doesn't matter. Okay. Worked in a small business, and the owner and his wife were there all the time. Fast forward a year, and the wife and owner share that they are going on a vacation to clear their heads and work on starting a family together. They come back a week later, and they don't even want to talk about their vacation. One of the long-term employees then gets fired about 2 weeks after they get back. It turns out that this employee and the wife had been getting it on while the employee was at work, and she ended up pregnant and found out about it while they were on vacation.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Conception had happened while the boss was out of town and obviously couldn't be there for the act. The boss left his wife and still runs the business, and honestly, he seems happier than he did when he was married.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that sucks.
that sucks.
Do you think that the wife would have lied and tried to pass it off as his kid if he would have been in town for the
That's-
conception?
Probably. I don't know her story, but that's what
Let's
makes...
assume her story. She sucks.
She sucks. Fuck you.
We don't know her story. Maybe he sucked, and that's why she
Cheated
ran into
on
the
him?
arms of another man.
I don't know. I don't like cheaters.
You
I
don't
got a
know.
bias against cheaters.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also
I was a cheater?
I've cheated before.
Me too, so I understand. I was like, immature. So can I say she's immature at least?
Yeah.
This one says, there is one story in this story that made me laugh out loud, and that's why I included it. So it's
Story
little
within a
bit long.
story?
Mhm.
Okay.
Because there's multiple stories in this.
Got it.
Teeny tiny ones, but I worked at a community pool in a suburb of Columbus, Ohio, every summer throughout school and college.
I almost just yelled OH.
Oh, I To say this place is a fever dream is an understatement. In fact, a friend and I have a very rough idea of an entire sitcom based around our experiences as lifeguards at this place. Some of the absurd events include, but are not limited to, our boss stealing a minimum of $500,000 in cash from the facilities over the course of multiple years.
Holy balls.
An escaped convict being on the loose and the entire facility having to go on lockdown while an entire action movie level manhunt transpired.
Oh my God.
A Karen claiming people were doing drugs, causing her to fear that there were hypodermic needles buried in the grass, thus making a bunch of 16-year-old employees walk around barefoot until we found said needles. And by find meaning the needles were stepped on by one of us.
Oh my God. Did anyone step on them?
I don't know. I don't know if that means that they did.
Also,
or-
what a weird request.
I'd like you to go barefoot, small children, and try to find these dirty needles.
Yeah, stick yourself with these dirty needles, weirdos.
Weirdo. Another woman claiming a homeless man was living in our facility, forcing all of us teenaged minimum wage staff to hunt every inch of the facility like a deranged game of hide and seek, or maybe the worst possible Easter egg unimaginable.
Oh my God. Also, that bothers me. Like, if someone is experiencing homelessness, just leave them alone.
Leave them the fuck alone.
Now, if like I understand businesses are like no loitering, whatever,
But what
or
is loitering?
if they're like,
is loitering just like existing without paying for it?
I guess,
I don't
or like
understand
if someone is like harassing people, like I understand that. Like if them being there is them making your patrons go away, and so it's
Right.
costing you money, like I understand to an extent. But like if they're just like chilling,
Just being homeless.
they're killing your vibe
Yeah.
at this country club, weirdo.
Fucking sorry.
Is this
you
a
can
country
blame community pool.
Okay. Oh my God. Relax.
Yeah, let him hang out. This is the good one. Once a dog broke into the facility, jumped into the deep end, and immediately started to drown. Sorry.
Do you prep for that?
One of the lifeguards jumped in to save the dog when suddenly the dog's owner comes over and starts screaming at the lifeguard who was trying to rescue their drowning dog. Or so we thought. It turns out the owner was chastising the dog, and it just happened to share the same name as the lifeguard trying to save it. What are
Ben?
the odds? Listen, Benjamin, get out of the pool. Yeah, I love that one.
And then the dog dies because the kid listens.
It's like, okay, sorry, Jesus. We had fun there too, don't worry. We staged an entire wedding with an officiant, bridesmaids and groomsmen, a photographer, etc. It's also the best job I've ever had and where I met some of my closest friends. But all of this, in addition to the interpersonal relationships of 100+ young adult staff members, on top of being first responders, is a lot of responsibility.
It does sound like a sitcom.
Yes. Sometimes I can't believe that place was real, even if I did in fact live it. That does sound, wow.
Yeah, definitely like a sitcom.
I had to take a big breath there. That was a lot. You ready?
Regroup. Yeah.
This happened in my town at the local school. There was an AD. Do you know what that means?
Athletic director?
Yep, sure. That sounds about right. That was recently hired. In his first year, he started a relationship with a volleyball coach. This was really weird because as far as I knew, she was married. Apparently, she had told him they were separated and they had a thing for months. It came...
Isn't that how it always happens? We're separated. We're on the rocks. Someone swoops in.
I would just like to say that I got caught in a scandal like that.
Really?
Yeah, remember? So the person told me that him and his wife were separated, and then he was still sleeping with his wife the whole time. And then I told her.
Oh, yes.
I went to her and told her about it, and we
We
were
were
like,
you told me, you're like, they're separated. I think this is like my second chance
They
at
were
love.
living together. Or living separately, I mean. I'm sorry. So I thought for sure.
They have a podcast.
I haven't listened in a while. Anyways, then she blames me. She tells everybody I was a homewrecker. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that he was married, but also you should talk to him about that. That sounds like more of a him problem.
Does he know you're married?
Oh, now I'm going to get messages again.
You can't let it go.
No, I can't.
Do you want me to take out the podcast part?
Maybe. Who cares? Who gives a shit? I don't think they listen.
Not me.
All right. It came out that her and her husband were actually never separated, and she was indeed still married. She cut him off and refused to see him. I'm assuming this is the volleyball coach that they're talking about. So like any logical human would, he then stalked her and harassed her, and she took a restraining order out against him. I think the biggest thing that blew my mind was that the school took his side.
Of course they did.
He still works there, and she had to resign.
And I think we've talked about this before. Schools will do that. They will encourage you to resign to save face.
Which is so gross. So gross. Especially because he still fucking works there.
Yep. Interpersonal relationships with staff at schools is like so fucking common. Like so fucking common.
I wonder why. Just because you're fucking around each other all the time, and it's like, where else are you going to find people?
Well, you're in a building full of hormones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so you're like, oh, I feel like a teenager too.
Kind of.
Oh, you get wrapped up in that.
Yes.
And you're like, do you want to fuck in this big window? Half of the stories are that situation. Half of these stories. Either that or with the students, which is upsetting. So I really narrowed it down because I don't want to. Okay. This is
that, and it's like, I don't feel right talking about minors in that situation and exposing that.
If it's not their story to tell. Exactly. This one's really sad. So this says, so it's not a hometown story, but it is dramatic as hell. This is a story about how my grandpa died.
Aww.
He had been out party hunting, which sounds great, but no.
Party
It's
hunting?
where a group of people go out and hunt deer. I was like, they're going to hunt for parties.
I was like, I love to hunt for a party. Take me back
like
to my college days.
I'm party hunting right now. So they are all hunting deer together, a big group of people. He and his brother were headed back to camp on the four-wheeler in their blaze orange coats. They were about a mile from camp when they were shot from behind.
Oh my gosh.
A bullet from a rifle went through his brother, killed him instantly, and then hit my grandpa. It breaks my heart that his death was not quick or painless. The man who shot and killed them was a good friend of my grandfather's brother. They had worked together as U.S. spies during the Cold War.
Oh my God, I have such chills.
I found out many years later that this man had been dishonorably discharged because there was concern about him leaking information to the Soviet Union.
Oh my God, I have chills on my face. I'm so scared of Russia.
I know, me too. I'm scared of this guy now.
We have a listener who was also one of my brides. She told us that she's been to Russia and that there's no reason to be scared. It's very beautiful. But like,
I don't know. I think it's the accents.
Very scary.
Every time they talk, I'm just like, you sound like you're mad at me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Apparently, it had been my grandpa's brother who had voiced that concern as they worked closely together.
So this was revenge, like long term?
Our family thinks this was a revenge killing for losing his job and credibility. He was charged with manslaughter and only spent 3 years in prison for killing 2 people.
Oh my God. So he acted like it was a hunting accident?
I'm assuming.
Oh my God.
But they had their bright orange. Like, how do you make that mistake?
Did I tell
I know
you?
it happens, but I want to be like, I feel like if you know that you're group hunting, you should be like looking out for those. Oh,
damn.
God, traumatic on every level.
Yeah, so sorry about your grandpa.
Yeah. Well, she said,
wild story.
I never got to know my grandpa because he was killed before I was even born. We can relate.
Same. Well, he wasn't killed. He was killed by his heart. By a heart attack.
True. She said, I wish we could find out the real truth behind it. And she said, love you guys. I can't wait to hear you guys tell the story. You knew it was good.
Such confidence.
They knew.
We love it.
They knew it was a good one. And it was. So that's very sad.
Damn.
But wow. Okay.
That's spicy sad.
I know. It's like spad. Spad? It's real spad. It's sad, but also I want to be like, tell me more about that.
The spy
the
situation.
spy situation. I want to know.
In Russia.
This said, like every good small town, This part makes me laugh. We had one guy who did photography for pretty much every school event. Homecoming, prom, senior photos, every sport.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he was also paying girls, multiple, if not all, of which were underage, money to photograph them nude.
I want to vomit.
It says the only reason I added this was because of the end. There was never any proof, but the school stopped using him as a photographer completely. I'm friends with one of the girls it happened to, and although he's never admitted it to her, he's definitely selling these pictures online places. It's sad because a lot of these girls were made to feel horrible about it when he was a predator that used money to get what he wanted and took advantage of the fact that these girls
This guy's fucking gross.
That's what I was going to say. So I added this one just to say at the end that it is not your fault. That is extremely manipulative. That is something that has happened to a lot of people. I almost was in a situation like that where I got approached at a mall that was like, you should model. First of all, if you saw me as a child, you will know that person was not after modeling photos.
No one ever approached me.
That was the only reason that I was like, this is a scam. For sure. You want, like, and thank God I didn't go because they were like, don't tell your parents, meet me here. We'll make sure that we have money for you. Oh, yeah, it was a big thing. And I was not I talked to people at school about it. I was not the only one that it happened to. And then we don't know what happened with that person. So it is not your fault. It is not your friend's fault. If anybody's listening and has had a situation like that happen, that is not your fault. I just want to say that. So now we're going to get into possibly some true crimey ones. So.
You already did one where Grandpa got murdered.
I know, but these are going to be
a lot of these were crimes.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's a very good point. I guess what I mean is mehr-dehr.
mehr-dehr?
Mehr-dehr. When I was 12, my classmate / neighbor's mom went missing. She was missing for an entire year, and I remember seeing posters and banners all around our town asking for information on her whereabouts. After a year, his dad finally confessed that during an argument, he had strangled her and left her in the trunk of his car before he got scared and finally dumped her in a shallow grave somewhere out of town. These people lived across the street and 2 houses over from me. Then there's this tidbit. They also found a man's head in a bag behind the church down the street one time. They don't elaborate on that at all. They just say creepy. What? I'm going to need more from you.
What's the relation?
I don't think
is it connected to this murder?
No.
It's just that happened?
It's just like, hey, P.S., if that wasn't enough to be horrific, man's head.
Behind the church.
So there's
like a weird clue game.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, this one's bad too.
We're just jumping right into the next one? No
Yeah.
commentary?
I can't. I don't. What do you want to say?
I don't know. I just am very shocked. How long did he wait before he confessed?
A year.
A year?
Yes. After a year, they finally confessed. The dead.
How long before he dumped her? She was in his car for a week. Is that what you said?
It doesn't say. It just says he left her in the trunk of his car before he got scared and finally dumped her.
Oh my God. Did you sell that car, my guy?
I know.
Because I bet it fucking stinks.
It's not good.
He's like, I can't deal with the smell anymore. I have to tell someone. Please, just lock me up because the smell alone, I would rather be in jail.
Terrible. Oh my God. That poor woman.
How mad would you have to be?
Well,
I feel like if you're that mad, like you always had it in you.
Well,
is that wrong to say? I'm not into true crime.
No, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Those people are blech.
To strangle someone.
That's a crime of passion.
That's a long crime,
right? Is that what they call it? Crimes of passion. But basically, when you do it like that, it's got to be someone you know because. No, maybe not. What the fuck am I talking about? Like, I know
guess
shit.
I don't know how long you have to be in a fit of rage before... Like, how long does it take... I don't know how long it takes to strangle someone. But, like, you have to do it hard enough and long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh, wow. I put that one in there twice. Sorry. Okay, here's another one. Several years back, I worked at a Buffalo Wild Wings. At this time, I was a takeout counter person and was working day shift. One morning, as we were setting up to get ready to open, I looked up and saw 2 men standing at the door. After looking at the clock and noticed it was... Sorry.
I went to Buffalo Wild Wings today, so this is a little close to home.
Oh my God, we almost went there for dinner. Weird. Would we have been there?
No, I went in Maslin for lunch.
Oh, got it. Okay. Nothing to do. After looking at the clock, I noticed it was only a few minutes until we opened, so I didn't think much of it. That was until my on-shift manager came running up to the takeout counter and said, "Don't let them in early, not even 1 minute early." Then sprinted back to the manager's office.
She kept sprinting back and forth to the manager often.
He was doing his sprints.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite strange because normally, as long as the server was ready, there was never an issue sitting customers a few minutes early. So those 6 minutes until open felt like forever as I was rolling silverware and basically making direct eye contact with them the entire
So fucking weird.
360 seconds they were standing at the door.
Yeah, you just have
She
to.
did the math.
Do you remember we used to work at the park and I worked the ticket window?
It's so awkward.
And people would like line up and wait for tickets, and I'd be like, sorry, and I would just have
Stare at
the
them.
have the blinds pulled down.
It's so weird. Says, to be quite frank, I was starting to really not want to let them in because I was waiting to get an earful for not letting them in. But 11 o'clock came around, I hesitantly unlocked the doors, opened the door the men were standing at, and immediately apologized for having to make them wait. They immediately asked where the on-duty manager was, and I said he was in the back, and they demanded that I bring him out. As I was walking back to the office, which is by the kitchen, I was like, great, what a way to start my day. As I walked,
out machine guns and just the manager.
no.
Oh my god.
As I walked into the office, I see the manager staring at them on the monitors through the camera set up around the hospital. Restaurant.
Okay.
Sorry,
Did I freak you out with my super accurate machine gun sound?
Yes. I'm a little dazed. I told him that they wanted to speak with him. In that moment, I saw my manager, who was very heavyset and probably in his 50s, sprint out the back door. This man's doing a lot of sprints today.
Oh my gosh.
I was dumbfounded. Honestly,
oh my god, they're loan sharks.
Honestly, I was thinking, how the fuck am I going to explain this to the pissed off men? After standing there for a minute, I love that she's just like dumbfounded that he left.
Then you just like dipped.
That image of her just being like,
What the fuck?
well, I guess I'll
Jim,
go back. I went back
you
out
can
to
move
the
so fast.
I went back to the front and the men were gone. 5 minutes later, we see the two men and the manager coming through the back door, and our manager is in handcuffs. The manager was handcuffed and walking through the lobby when he started screaming, "Don't say anything. Don't say a fucking word. Call Angelica," who's their other manager.
What? Of course that's her name.
Needless to say, we never saw him again. We ended up finding out that he was a part of an undercover sting operation the night before. He apparently was posting job listings on Craigslist for open positions at the restaurant to talk to underage girls.
Ew, what is up with these creepy fucking men?
Fucking
Well,
disgusting.
see, I started this bitch with a creepy fucking dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's the theme of this one.
It really is. The night before, he thought he was talking to a 16-year-old girl and convinced her to come meet him at the restaurant after hours, but she never showed up because he was talking to the cops that showed up the next day. The mugshot had drips of sweat from his run and his bright blue manager shirt with the BWW logo perfectly in frame.
No.
Fuck you, guy. You piece of shit.
Yeah, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I love your cheese curds, but fuck off.
But fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
All right. This says, so I used to be a flight attendant for one of the biggest companies in the world. What a job. How are you not scared every day
One of my
your life?
friends is a flight attendant, and I just look at her and I'm like, you're amazing.
That job
You
scares
fly for a
the
living.
fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued by it.
Well, can I tell you
Please.
something that she told me?
Okay.
Do you know that they announce when a fallen soldier is on board?
Wait. Hold on.
So if a fallen soldier, so like if they're brought back from war and then they take them from like the military plane and put them on like Delta to send them back home, they will announce over the loudspeaker. Not, I think every airline does it differently, but the one she works for says like, we are basically carrying Sergeant Jim something
that's
Smith.
gonna make me cry.
But think about it.
That is.
They have him with the luggage.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
And then everyone
But
like claps and stuff. But like, so he's just under the plane with the strollers?
Oh, that's so sad.
Isn't that weird?
That's really weird. I always wondered, like, what would happen if you would go on vacation and someone would pass away. They would have to bring you back, and then you're just on a plane with people. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable, not because it's funny.
Yeah.
Because that situation, I'm already fucking terrified of flying. If I also knew that there was like a body on board,
Yeah.
I would be terrified.
I feel like that's disrespectful, is it not?
I think. Well, no, I mean, I understand the wanting to give respect and so shouting them out.
No,
but
that's
definitely
respectful.
Putting them with the luggage is
Putting them with the luggage is weird to me.
But where else would they go?
I don't know. I feel like we put enough money into the military that they could just have their own plane.
I agree with that. We should make a special. Yeah, I agree.
Like a hearse plane?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just something. They deserve
First
better.
class.
They deserve way better.
They deserve not to be with the luggage.
I agree.
Okay.
Because it is a huge company with roughly 22,000 cabin crew and 7,000 pilots, this was before COVID, you can't know everyone. So you never fly with the same people twice, and it's hard to match with someone you don't know. It's hard to match with someone you know, and for that reason, you never know who you're going to end up flying with. It is a well-known thing that within the company, pilot, FA, flight attendant, flight attendant. I was like, what's a FA? Relationships are a thing and also a kink for some people.
Sexy.
Oh my God, that is so sexy. That would be the only reason I'd be a flight attendant.
What's up, Captain?
Yeah. I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
Take his hat.
Ooh.
Serve me drinks, bitch.
I'm about to get in the Mile High Club.
But please be safe. Flying this plane.
Yeah.
Well, I
The seatbelt.
What?
The seatbelt light is on.
But my top is off. Okay.
So please enter this way. The exits are to your left. Put on your mask first. Or whatever.
Whatever they say. I'm trying to think of
Put your
more.
tray table in the upright position.
Something about flotation devices.
This seat is also a raft.
I wish I
whatever.
flew more.
I know.
Shit. Okay.
Pretzels or peanut? I don't know.
Would you like it? No.
Would you like me to go?
I was just going to ask if they wanted a beverage. Did you like a Coke with that?
Is that a neck pillow or are you just happy to see?
Please make sure all your phone devices are shut off.
Yeah, put this bitch in airplane mode. Check the overhead compartments because I'm ready for takeoff.
I need you to stuff your luggage up there.
Oh.
I wish I was better at that.
The landing gear is down, and so am I. Anyway, okay, what are they saying?
Sorry. Okay. So one day we were all in the brief meeting, 25 people. I just want to keep like brief meeting in our briefs. No, I'm not good at this. 25 people before a long ass trip that lasted a week or so because we were hitting multiple destinations. We were missing one economy crew. No one knew where she was. I'm assuming that's who she's with. Economy? I don't fucking know.
Meaning that she was probably with the economy. Because there's like first class and then there's economy.
Oh, I don't know shit about planes. I really need to fly more. She was supposed to be in the building but never came to the meeting. At one point, she turned up and asked the purser, who is the figure of authority for the cabin crew. So it's like a supervisor.
Yep.
To please let her off the flight. She didn't want to go. She'd much rather just wait at the airport for hours and potentially get another destination or simply go home and get a penalty for missing her duty. They argued for a while, and the girl finally told her that she didn't want to go because she had an awful fight with her boyfriend, who was the captain in command of that trip, And the purser said, fine. And so the girl left. We later found out that the purser was the captain's wife. Ah! Can you imagine?
Did that person know?
No, the girlfriend didn't know.
Or do you think she did know and that's why she was like,
oh,
you're going to let me go?
Yeah, because my boyfriend and I,
who happens,
your husband,
yeah, our
you know
partner was a real dick to me and I'd like to go home.
I love how the purser heard and she was like, no, you can't. And then she was like, what was his name? Yeah, you can fucking leave.
Yeah, you can go.
You can be dismissed.
Yeah.
We're going to have a talk. It says,
no one's going on this flight anymore. Okay? No one's going the fuck anywhere.
They got divorced after the trip.
Did they?
But how, that's what it says.
Oh.
But how awkward was that flight, I wonder?
Yeesh.
Yikes. She's just like shit talking him the whole time. She's like, we'll probably be fine. I don't even know if this guy has his fucking license. Am I right? Am I right? He's been drinking the whole time, but it's fine. He's flying us. Is the captain fly?
I think so.
Captain of the crew?
I think so. I don't fucking know.
And the pilot the same? Doesn't matter.
I think there's multiple. There's like a pilot and then there's like a co-pilot.
Okay, so
I don't know sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one
more?
I have another one, but it's I feel like we should end on a high note. These are kind of bummers. Okay. So let's just end it there and then we'll do more later. I'll just save those ones for next time.
Well, damn.
Wow.
That was something. You guys never, like, every time we do one of these scandalous? Well, every time, that's a word.
Yeah.
Every time we do one of these scandal episodes, I'm like, are we going to be able to top some of the shit that people have said? And then I'm like, holy fuck.
Every time.
There's like, never a shortage of scandals.
That's the great
thing.
There's
never a shortage of scandals.
That's the great thing about scandals.
Yeah.
There's never a shortage.
And now I feel like because we're doing the forms, so people don't have to DM us, they're more likely to send it because it's anonymous on the form.
Yeah.
So, wild.
Loving it.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Our next episode is the 100th episode. We're about to record it right now. So, I cannot believe it. This is so exciting. But
100 episodes, you guys.
It's not, we're not there yet. This is only 99.
Oh, 99.
99 episodes here on the wall. 99 episodes here. Actually, we've only done like 20 here. Anyway, okay. Thanks for hanging out. We love you so much. We'll see you next time. That's that on your scandals. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just continuing to talk. All right, we're out.
Bye.